get started, I want to ask you for a moment for a very, very special person. And that person traveled from very far away, all the way to this beautiful mountain village to work on their personal roads, on building a life on their own terms, and really make the best out of themselves. Do you guys know who the person is? It's you. A massive applause for yourself for being here. And besides that as well, I want to say to the organization of this event, guys, I take my hat off for you. I do events as well. What you pull off together here is freaking hard. You have 75 speakers. You have a beautiful village, but it's pretty, I looked at the setup. It's not easy to set it up here. All right. So what I'm going to share with you today is a little bit about my personal story, because it really built the foundation of what I did today. And then also my strategy on how to get out of any event with at least 25K in leads for my business or great friendships. But I have a business that's focused on networking mostly. So for digital nomads and online entrepreneurs, I help them in a very short amount of time to get the most out of it during a network event. Now I'm going to help you guys right here to open new doors. And it's interesting. I was sitting there the whole time and I'm looking here at the audience. I see people sitting all alone, hidden in a corner. I see you beautiful 3, 4, 5, 6 people all spread out. But we came here to meet people, right? Why am I sitting in a corner? Why are we sitting all alone? So I'm going to help you to open new doors, and then I have an invitation for you as well. All right, guys, I want you to grab now your notebook. Do you have a notebook, your phone, something to write? Very important. Hello, it's so good to see you. So grab your notebook, something to write, your phone, whatever that might be. And then I'm going to invite you to take a minute to reflect and be really intentional, because you traveled all the way here with a reason, whatever that might be. Maybe you're looking for a new opportunity. You want to build new partnerships. You want to find your next travel buddy or a new best friend. Whatever that might be, I know everyone here is in a different stage of their life and journey. You know, there's no right or wrong. You have entrepreneurs, you have people who make a transition from being employed to entrepreneurship. You have people who are employees and love it and just like traveling the world and want to meet people after their work time. So whatever it might be, what is your intention for this week? Please write it down as specific as possible. Because if you come here, for example, to find inspiration, I guess all of us want that, but what for do you want new inspiration? So I'm looking for new inspiration in order to build my own community. I'm looking for inspiration to build a life on my own terms and be location independent. What is it? Be very specific, because what you write down now will help you to get there at the end of this week. Really take a moment. Beautiful. I see some people still writing. That's a good sign, actually. So be as specific as possible. And then once you're ready, I'm inviting you, put down your phone or your notebook so I can see that you're ready and that you're done. So put down your notebook, your pen, your phone. And then I'm inviting you, because I see some people very cozy, snuggled up, which is really great. But put 2 of your feet on the ground. Sit straight, both feet on the ground, get relaxed. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes right now. Just take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up your chest, and slowly out through the mouth. And for a second, arrive in this space. You traveled all the way here for a specific reason. And I invite you to take this moment for yourself to really feel that intention that you just set. And now visualize yourself at the end of this week. So when you walk out of this beautiful event, what is it that you got out of it? Who did you connect with? What inspired you? Which new doors did you open? And I really want you to feel that feeling that at the end of the week, you can conquer the world and you got out of it what you want to get out of it. And slowly, I'm inviting you to come back to this space. Take a deep breath and let it all out. And then invite you to look around you. Just look around you, make eye contact with the other people here in this space. And really look at each other and see each other. Hi, awkward, huh? You're here to meet people, guys. And now I want you to pick the person who sits closest to you, make eye contact, and say, I see you. I see you. This is so weird, guys. I love that. So, when we did the visualization and you walked out of this space, you're packing your bags, you're going back to the airport, or maybe you check in into a new Airbnb here in Bansko. And if you look back at like the things that you want to achieve, mostly it was through other people. Maybe you want to do a beautiful mountain hike to ground with yourself, but it is through other people. So that is why my talk is called The Who is the How. And people look a little bit cross-eyed to me like, what? But what would it mean? The who is the how? Do you dare to share a bit? What would it mean? The who is the how? Yeah, we need community to make things. Indeed. In order to get somewhere, you need people. I always say it's not about how you get there, it's who do you know to get there faster, easier, right? We try always to figure things out by ourselves, go behind the laptop, Google stuff. But what if next to you is a person who already did it or knows people who's doing that? You can speed up the process and like skip maybe 2 years. Why not do that? Or buy a course of 1,000 euros and say, I'm going to make you a millionaire in a month. But maybe the millionaire is sitting next to you here and can help you to get there faster. So a little bit about me. So my name is Michelle. I'm the founder of the Nomad Escape. I've been a location independent entrepreneur for the last 6 years, and people know me as a connector. And actually, I didn't make up that word. Quite recently, I think in December, January, I started zooming in more on my superpowers. Because I was running my business already for multiple years, and I was doing events and retreats for entrepreneurs and all these things. But what was it actually that I was doing? So I asked many people in my community in the Nomad Escape, what do you think is my superpower? What am I really good at? And everyone said, Michelle, you are awesome in connecting people. You're kind of like your brain is a Rolodex. When I meet you, I remember it, it like gets printed in my brain, and then I meet someone else, and I'm like, oh, you need to talk to this person.
So I see Safir here from Global Nomad Pass. We had a call, and he reached out to me, and I'm like, oh, you need to talk to Federico. He's sitting here, and they're collaborating now. You need to talk to Gonzalo. He's coming to Madeira Island to collaborate now. So I don't know why. I just love it. And this makes my heart glow when I see you guys together, working together. So I built now my business around my superpower. It's more than digital nomads gathering, it's connecting. I'm a facilitator and a mentor, and in the last years, I hosted over 1,000 professionals in my events. So the events for individuals, people like you guys, but also for companies. I host company retreats and offsites for bigger tech companies and remote-first companies. I work now with 9 remote rock stars, basically my freelancers. And as Stephanie already said, I'm a crazy cat lady. It's weird, but everyone who knows me knows that I have a weakness. Like if there was a cat, I would not show up today, just like Dean had with his whiskey. Also distracted him. I have that with cats. That's my kryptonite. And I'm an amateur DJ. I do some gigs. But my friends also know me as an epic house party giver. I live in Madeira Island, where Gonzalo also lives, on a banana plantation, on a mountain, with ocean view, on an island. And I wrote that down actually 7 years ago. My sister said it to me last week. Michelle, everything you wrote down, you got. I lived in South America for 6 years. And I wrote down literally there, I want to live on an island. I want to live in a banana plantation because I love the plant. I want to live in a mountain and I want to live with ocean view. I got it all together, literally. And that's why it is very important that you're intentional. When you go somewhere, write it down. Honestly, when I started writing things down, where I want to be featured, stages I want to speak, people I want to work with, I got it. So that's very important. So I'm going to share a little bit about my personal story because that brought me here today. So I come from the Netherlands. I come from a very small town, which is called Weert. Like literally it's called Weert, like not even translated, but it's Weert, W-E-E-R-T, on the border of Germany and Belgium. And these 2 little girls here, you see the big one on the back, that's me, and the one on the front, that's Fina, that's my sister, which I love a lot, and also works with me in the Nomad Escape as my community manager. I grew up in that beautiful tropical building over there, a lot of banana plantations, a lot of color, but that is where the first part of my life I grew up. And looking back on my past, and I only found that out in the last 2 years, was very impactful on my whole journey. And it was very hard for me to share also about it, and I practice it. But where I grew up was actually a little bit an environment with less opportunities. My father was a heavily alcoholic. He died a few months ago because he overdrank himself. My mom was a drug addict, and my parents were too busy and had too many challenges themselves and were not able to take care of me. So when I was 14 years old, I ended up in the streets. Literally, I was homeless. I slept in the streets. So when people ask me now, oh, since when have you been a nomad? Well, actually, 23 years. I'm 37 now, right? So I slept in the streets and I ended up, as you're so young, you cannot live in the streets. I ended up in government institutions and homeless shelters. And when you end up there at such a young age, you realize, or I realized, like, why is it that I'm in this situation? Why is it that some people end up, more abundant in life and they can travel the world and they buy houses? And why is it that some people are pretty miserable and victimize everything? I started observing that. And at that moment, I made a decision that I refuse to end up like my parents and the people around me. I refused it. So I started doing the opposite of all these people. And I knew when I'm old enough, I need to get the fuck out of here and change my environment. So when I got a little bit older, I moved to Suriname. Most people won't know, but it's a former Dutch colony. It's in South America, above Brazil. And there I had all these crazy jobs that Stefano was talking about. I did like crazy shit. I was a dolphin tour guide to sex chat operator without AI, guys. I was very creative. So if you need some copywriting, it's me. But I did literally everything to make money. And I ended up being a director of an educational institute for security, safety, risk management training. I flew with helicopters into the rainforest to educate security guards like crazy. But then I felt like I want to travel the world more. I want to see more. But the people around me had not the same mindset. So again, I saw my environment was not what I needed. So I stopped that. I broke up, unfortunately, with my ex-boyfriend because he didn't have the same ambitions as me, and I decided to move to Australia. In Australia, I became a tour guide, like for a tour company, did many different things. But the last job that I had, this on the right side, that was the last day literally I ever worked for a boss. I was working like at a beautiful uniform, and I was a waitress in the most miserable casino in Australia, serving drunk and wasted Aboriginals at 10 a.m. in the morning. And I thought, oh my God, what am I doing here with my life? And they wanted to offer me a visa to stay there. I'm like, no, I need to get out. And I loved traveling. I love being I love to be abroad and work abroad, but I don't want to be stuck in a place. So in 2018, I Googled how to make money online. Honestly, whoever done this here, how to make money online, right? Did you find the answer? I didn't yet, by the way. Crypto, no. How to make money online. And taught myself to build Facebook ads through YouTube videos. And I just bluffed my way into it. On Facebook, I just posted in Facebook groups. I got my first clients. I made my first money. Okay, great. Super cool. And then I found out, like, it's actually pretty lonely doing it like this. And there was no one around me, again, like in the backpacker area and stuff, who was doing the same as me. And I even set up a meetup. Then I didn't know the word digital nomads. I set up a meetup for ambitious backpackers, I called it, because I didn't know digital nomads. So it was interesting. But then I found out, fuck, it's lonely here. So if I look back at it, someone asked me recently, what is the biggest mistake you've ever made? Like trying to figure things out by myself. So I realized that I needed to learn new skills and step up my game and improve my network. So I went to Bali, and there basically I moved to Bali and with my first business partner. We have Andreas somewhere there. Is Andreas here? Hi, Andreas. And we founded together then the Nomad Escape. And then I realized how important it is to have someone next to you that has the same vision and the same mentality. Then we decided to go to Bali, and we moved to Draper Startup House, an entrepreneur villa. And there is where magic happened. And recently, this is a very recent summary, I thought like, okay, what really brought me here? And it is all connections. Because when I moved to Draper Startup House, I connected with the founder, Vikram. Vikram connected me with Ali, which was a speaker there, who had like a course then, Homeless and Happy. And then from Bali, I moved to Lisbon. And in Lisbon, I got connected by Ali to Dave Williams, that was working also with Gonzalo, the founder of Nomad X originally. And Dave was fan of me, and he said, Michelle, I love what you do. I love your energy. Come to Web Summit. Well, I don't know if you guys know Web Summit, but it's honestly impossible to be there as a bootstrapping startup. It's freaking expensive to have a booth. And yeah, it was impossible, but Dave brought me there. That day, I met Gonzalo, actually, as well, right? Exactly on that day. And there I met Derek. Derek was last year here the MC, is now working with me as MC. He came to many of my events, and he's one of my now best business partners and collaborators and friends as well. In that period, Dave became my mentor, and very recently, Dave led me to my biggest lead, which I closed last month, a company retreat with a minimum budget of 350K. And guys, it's revenue, it's not profit. Just like, don't make I'm not a millionaire or so, right? So, and so on. So if you look back at it, all these connections, it's all connections. Think for yourself, right? I applied this principle to my network today. And now within my network, in my communities, there was over 1 million in revenue generated by all these collaborations. So today I'm having my dream business. I travel the world. I decide to live in Madeira, and from there I travel. But I'm helping other people now to also build these networks, because it's honestly all about people. So looking back at it, my network is also my greatest asset. Because let's say I met a lot of e-commerce business owners. And a few of them called me when Amazon blocked their accounts. I had friends who made a shitload of money in crypto. The market crashed. They lost everything. but I will never lose my people because I helped so many people. I know one phone call, hey, I need this, I have it. So invest in your network, do good to people. No one can take that away from you. So I'm going to give you, I'm a bit tight on time, so we will go quick through it. But my strategy, what I personally apply also through this event, and I started yesterday, a few people spoke to me and they saw me noting things down, how I got a minimum of 25K on leads for every event. And maybe you're not generating leads, it's not only about that, but get the most out of it. And for me, leads means business opportunities, partnerships, collaborators, whatever that might be. So first of all, clarity and preparation. Maybe you just came here, whatever, and like, oh, I didn't download the app. But understand who is here in the space. There are visionaries. There are people who build shit that you can learn from. So do research, write it down, and write on your goals, what we did at the beginning already. Then I'm going to ask you in your own time. Unfortunately, we can't do it now because of the time. But really, take a photo of this. Please do this if you have the time, because this will help you. It's a very simple and small exercise, but I realize how important that is because I speak here as well to people, and yesterday to people in the bus. People don't know what they do. Even though you're on a sabbatical, or maybe you have a burnout. I had a burnout myself, or whatever it may be, just understand what are you doing here if people ask you that, because you have only like 10 seconds to make an impression on someone. If you're like, I don't know, no. Okay, person, zoomed out. But you want to make an impression. You want to make impact, right? So answer these questions for yourself. And also very important, what or who do you need to achieve this, right? So you have goals, right? So let's say I'm building an online community and I am now optimizing everything with AI. And at the moment, what I need is a new community manager. I need an AI engineer and a community specialist. I just say something. But if I write that down and I know about it, I can put on my scanner here, like, oh, this is a good person that I can work with. So then, this is how I organize my stuff. So I make a list for myself and categories, really. Like I use just Notion in my phone, or can be your notes or notebook, whatever. Write down the categories that are important to you. Maybe you're looking for a mentor or a coach. Maybe you're looking for a client, or if you are looking for a job, an employer, a collaborator, a potential business partner. Maybe you have a business like me and I want more team members, right? Community members, new opportunities, but also resources, because you see a lot in these events. People say, oh, you need to read this book. You need to watch this documentary. Really golden nuggets that can change your life and your vision on things. Write those down. It will be fast. And sometimes you're talking with someone, I had it yesterday, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm going to write it down. And also scan directly their LinkedIn, their Instagram, that you can stay connected. When you post, people see what you're about. Then, at the end of the week, or actually after the end of every day, I prioritize. I literally drag and drop. So I met yesterday, for example, a guy who's building an AI startup, builds AI team. Okay, interesting. For me, it could be a speaker. So for me, the category speaker, I drag them under speaker. Then at the end of the week, I prioritize literally who is the person that can help me go to where I want to go fastest. That person goes on top. I follow up with them. I plan a call or meet. And then, after we had this talk, I asked the golden question. Because this question leads me constantly to sales. Is at the end of every conversation, needs to go smooth, of course, a little bit informal, saying at the end, oh, it was just such a great conversation. So who in your network do you think I should have a chat with? Who can I be of value of, and who would I vibe well with? 9 out of 10 people say, oh, my friends, oh, my colleague. I get a new name and a new call. It's just endless. Even when you finalize a project or a client and they're happy, you can ask that. And that leads me to, like, I made an overview of it in general, after every event, 25K in opportunities. Then also after that, when they gave it to you, you end always with, how can I help you? And I'm going to ask you also this week, when you listen to people, ask their story and say, hey, cool what you're building. How can I help you? Without expecting anything back. So one new connection can change the course of your entire life and business. Honestly. And this is an example. For example, many of you guys know Federico. Federico's over there. Applause for Federico. And Federico came to my first event, a retreat, which I was together with Andreas hosting back in the days. And he had always the dream. I want to build my own business, but he didn't know how and what. And he came to many events. Every mastermind, we kept on talking about it. And today, like he went to kind of like every digital nomad event in the freaking world. And he built his business now, which is called Nomad Retreat. So if you guys are addicted to this kind of events, go there. He has them all lined up because I know it's a hassle to find the right events which meet your criteria. So he built a platform around his passion, helping other people. And he built that because he got in touch with us, like with me and Andreas, and then he brought in other people, and it grew like crazy. So this is just an example. But be intentional, be mindful of your journey. So maybe you're sitting next to your new client, business partner, collaborator, maybe investor. I saw some people who are looking for investment, or best friend. You never know. And that is why I highly recommend to not sit alone. If you sit somewhere or stand somewhere, sit next to someone, open a conversation. Because if you stay alone, you cannot open new venues, even if it's friendships and inspiration. So I wanted to do a small exercise and I need to look at the organization if I still have time or I need to stop talking right now. Okay, guys, take a photo of this, honestly, and then in the break, whenever you can do it. But I also will do this, I will invite you on Wednesday. We can do this there as well, but please take a photo. We're gonna do a small exercise because when you open a conversation with these talks, like you're like, oh my God, you've been the person I've been looking for 2 years. You're sitting next to me. If I wouldn't open this conversation, I would search for 2 more years. So when you look at connections, right? I see it as two types of connections. And every person counts. It's not like one person not interesting. Every person has an interesting story to tell and can help you further in any way. I call it your direct connections or your gateway directions. Your direct connections is the people that you can directly work with, do business with, be friends with. And your gateway connections are people who can give you access to the people that you want to work with. So when you meet someone, you can also put it in these categories. Is person direct, or do I need to ask, like, hey, you mentioned this person. Yesterday I was networking already in the bus. I met a guy and I already connected them to people because I know it can change their lives. So the more people you know, the more opportunities you will have in life, honestly. And also I heard, like Dean was saying it, like your network is your net worth. Sounds all, like we saw all these motivational quotes and you're the average of the 5 people you spend most time with. Honestly, it's true. And sometimes you need to also make decisions where a little bit painful, that you need to leave an environment, where what I did multiple times in my life. Like, okay, does it serve me? Does it help me to go where I want to go? No, I love you, but I need to grow. And I want you to be also very mindful in how you spend your time, because before you know, 10 years pass and you didn't go for your dreams. So my invitation for you is on Wednesday, I'm going to host a mastermind session. It's interactive. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to put you to work to get support by fellow nomads here to help you with your business ideas, with your challenges, direct support. I hosted over, I think, like 60 mini masterminds around the world and in every continent, and just pop-up events, and people met each other there that now still are texting me. I got last week a message from someone in Tulum who joined my event that I can't remember and said, Michelle, we have now a massive business in Tulum because of your free mastermind. So check this out. This will lead to a WhatsApp group, and I will send you the time because I don't know exactly. We're figuring out the logistics. So guys, from my heart to yours, I want to say thank you so much. I know your time is precious and I respect that really a lot. You could have been anywhere in the world. You could have been drinking coffee right now outside, or play a game, or lay in bed, but you guys are here and I appreciate you from my heart to yours. Thank you so much.